Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is AKMAL HAKIM bin RAHMAN. My matric number is 2021-858536. So I have been given a task which is a group assignment EDU 404 interview and presentation. So let's not waste our time. Let's move to the slide. Okay, so this is the biodata of the teacher that I have interviewed. His name is Muhammad Adib Wafi bin Muhammad Jufri. He is 26 years old and he teach at school SRAR Al-Ikhlasiyah. The subject that he teach is Tilawah Al-Quran and Ibadah. The education background of this teacher is Diploma in Islamic Education. And the last one is the experience of this teacher. He has been teaching in 4 years at SRAR Al-Ikhlasiyah. Okay, so from the conversation and interview between me and Sir Adib, we have the answer about strength and weakness in teaching during MCO. The first strength is PDPR implementation and homework can be easily done anywhere, whether we are in a vacation or at hometown, we can do the task given easily. Second one, all class activities and homework can be stored in the data online or offline. So the data or the homework will not lose and we will not waste our time to find it. The third one is various learning methods can be used such as Google Meet, YouTube and so on. So Google Meet, YouTube, it is common method or a platform that usually teacher use. And the first one, lack of gadget at home to follow PDPR due the factor of sharing gadgets with other siblings. So this is the problem for a student. The second one is lack of internet access in the residential areas of the student, usually at village and the places that not have a huge coverage of internet. The third one is most students do not have gadgets or computer to do PDPR at home. Okay, so the poor people usually didn't have gadget. So Sir Adib has shared with us about the challenging in teaching during MCO. So the first one is the involvement of students in online class is less encouraging. Usually students easily get bored about the method of teacher use in teaching online class. The second one is pupils find difficult to complete homework because some parents work. So the parents basically can teach student to answer the question that the teacher given. So the last one is difficulty for a student to follow PDPR activities. This problem usually faced by old people. They didn't have many knowledge about IT, internet, computer and so on. So they cannot help their children to do the homework and the tasks that required too many knowledge in IT. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoy my video and presentation. So thank you very much for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad NAZMI bin KAMAL and I am a student of EDU 404 which is History and Development of Education from class ED 2461A. For my group assignment, which is Interview and Presentation, I need to interview one teacher to find challenge, strength, and weakness in teaching and learning during Movement Control Order (MCO). First of all, before I go any further, I would like to introduce my respondent, which is my teacher when I was in Form 6 at SMK Bandarmas Kota Tinggi Johor, Mr. Muhammad Azwan Asra bin Mat Ami. He is from Johor Bahru, Johor, and he was graduated at UPSI in Bachelor of Information Technology Education. He has served for 16 years since 2005 until now. So, let's move to our topic. In the interview, I asked him about the challenge, strength, and weakness of teaching and learning during MCO. According to my respondent, he stated that the biggest challenge of teaching and learning during MCO is lack of gadget. Some students have many siblings who needs gadget for online class, but they only have one gadget. This is because gadgets are expensive to buy nowadays, and their parents cannot buy for every single one of them. When some of the siblings have the same class time, one of them cannot attend the class. Next, Mr. Azwan gave some opinion about the strength of teaching and learning during MCO. The first one is online learning facilitates students in terms of mobility. Students do not need to move to anywhere like library, computer lab, or center. They also do not have to follow any entry or exit schedule. Students can choose certain place they want as well as the place is comfortable. Second, students are not tied to a strict learning schedule. Students can start their learning material according to the appropriate time and level of understanding of a topic by choosing the study time and place that they want. Other than that, he stated that the strength is to save a cost. It is because students do not have to spend more money on food, transportation, and other costs. By staying at home, they can learn while their parents can cook for them. However, they also have the weakness of teaching and learning during MCO. The problem is low internet connection. Low internet connection are influenced by factors such as rain, being in rural areas, and also not having the ability to purchase internet data. Some of parents cannot go to work, so they do not have the money to buy the fast data. Other than that, he also stated that the problem is students are not able to focus on the learning that is being carried out. This is because every action and conversation of student is behind a screen display that always in silent mode. The camera also closed and student may only be able to focus on the lesson for first 5 minutes, but after that they may have done other things such as sleeping, playing social media, and playing video game until the class ends. In my opinion, after the pandemic, all conditions have changed significantly, including learning activities. However, even in difficult conditions, learning still needs to be continued in any way. Being a teacher is not as easy as you think. They need to find a variety of effective ways to carry out their responsibilities. As a future teacher, we need to be prepared for whatever challenges we face in the future. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Hajar binti RIDZUAN. My matrix number 2021870842. My group ED2461A. I will present about teaching and learning during MCO, which is challenging, strengths, and weakness. In my presentation, I will explain respondent profile, challenging, strengths, and weakness from teacher's view and student's view, and lastly, my conclusion. First, the respondent's background. Puan Nurhazliza binti Azhari is 46 years old. She is from Sungai Buloh, Selangor and lives in Sonjana Utama. Puan Nurhazliza graduated from Institusi Pendidikan Guru (IPG). Puan Nurhazliza has experience as a teacher for 90 years of teaching. The teaching subject is Pendidikan Jasmani dan Kesihatan in secondary school. Puan Nurhazliza currently teaching at Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Bukit Gading. This is my evidence. I interviewed Puan Nurhazliza by WhatsApp. Next, we take a look at the challenging from teacher's view. The first challenging is to attracting students to learn online classes and also their focus and increase students' motivation. This is because some students find really hard to focus in online classes. If this happens, Puan Nurhazliza might find difficulty in how to get fully attention from students, so that Puan Nurhazliza must have more patience to teach students in online classes. This is because when Puan Nurhazliza easily get angry, will decrease students' motivation. Second, challenging is technological skills. During this sudden transition into online education, teachers were expected to able to use the online learning platform immediately. Puan Nurhazliza faced challenges in preparing teaching materials that can cater to students of different levels, creating suitable method for all students. Next, from students' view, the first challenging during learning in online classes is distraction everywhere. Distractions are a reality of online learning. All students at home must face this very hard because distraction from television, playing handphone, and also family be the challenge to student focus in virtual class. Second challenging from student view is time management. Having time management system is perhaps the most difficult challenge for students to overcome because it depends entirely on self-motivation. Next, we move to strengths. From teachers' view, the first point is master IT skills among teachers. This is because Puan Nurhazliza used many methods to teach students in virtual class. Puan Nurhazliza said she is know how to use Google Classroom and Google Meet really well, so that she can teach her students very well. Second point is creative teaching. The literature of adult education supports the use of interactive learning environments as contributing to self-direction and critical thinking. Puan Nurhazliza made great strides in applying this concept to their on-ground teaching. Then we move to students' view for strengths. First point is students have a plenty of free time. Students declare that they now have much more free time as a result of switching to online learning. They handle their daily tasks unrelated to academia, do sports, and even have some leisure time. Second point is option to learn from anywhere. Although people can still travel around the globe, there are almost no internal borders. Wherever people live, they can set off a trip at any time of the day and explore their motherland without any hassle. Fortunately, online classes allow students to attend classes from any spot, so it is remarkable benefit for those who have always wanted to embark on a journey at any season. Next, we move to weakness from teacher's view. First point is have low Wi-Fi internet connection and also constrain students to buy internet. Puan Nuharsiza said she sometimes have low connection internet that will disrupt the learning session. So that Puan Nuharsiza had to postpone the class until have stable connection. Puan Nuharsiza also said constrain students to buy internet. Some students may have financial problems, so that the student will not attend the class. Second point is limited access such as laptops and printer. Puan Nuharsiza said some students do not have laptop to use when online classes, but have to use only smartphone, which is smartphone too small for students to use when online class and have limited access compared to laptops. Then we move to students' view for weaknesses. First point is increase in assignment. This is because some teachers will give so many tasks to do and will overlap with another subject, so that the students have difficulty to finish their work. Second point is lack of hardware. For starters, not every household has over one PC. Active online studying strongly relies on solid hardware. This makes the average list of necessary things to attend the class pricey. Many households can afford to buy several laptops and hardware to participate in classes and have a stable internet connection. In conclusion, there are strengths and weaknesses of online learning in school or higher education. But as technological capabilities have reached new heights, and many of the major concerns of students and teachers taking online classes to learn and teach have been addressed. The strengths of online learning during MCO are beginning to drown out the weakness. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Farah Nabila binti Razali. My student ID is 2021 864572. So today I would like to present about teaching and learning during MCO. Challenging strength and weakness. Without wasting our time, let's start the presentation. I would like to introduce my respondent to you. I have been done with my interview session on WhatsApp with one of my teachers during school. Her name is Salmanja binti Salatun. She is 54 years old this year and she has been in education field for almost 25 years. She is teaching her student and major in the subject of Prinsip Perakaunan, Ekonomi and Reka Bentuk Teknologi at SMK Tropicana Petaling Jaya. For her educational background, she started her studies at Advanced Diploma in Accountancy at UiTM and she continued her studies in Diploma Pendidikan. That is the little bit information about my respondent. Next, we continue with our topic. So, for the challenging, teacher skills in using digital technology. Based on her experience during teaching in MCO, she found the teacher needs to improve their skill in the use of technology in order to attract students to learn and participate in online classes, such as Google Meet. Interactive games like quizzes, Kahoot, Bluecat, and others be mastered by the teacher so that the learning sessions are interesting. Second, environment with less conducive, however, teacher or student. During the PDPR session, the teacher mostly at home with other family members. So for the teacher with a small children, this is challenge to manage PDPR smoothly. Many students lack device and data facility. The condition in their homes will be less conducive due to noisy and uncomfortable environment. Last, attitude some of students during the PDPR session. Many teachers are disappointed with the attitude of some students who are less disciplined in seeking knowledge. Students lack focus, do not follow the teacher instruction to open the camera, and do not respond when the teacher asks a question. Next, we move to strength of teaching during MCO. First, flexible in terms of time and place. Students and teachers can arrange time and place if studying online. They also can choose a comfortable place to follow the learning session, as well as arrange the schedule and learning materials according to the schedule set by the school. And second, save costs. When online learning sessions are used, money can be saved on transportation and food. Because they are at home, student and teacher do not have to pay for transportation to go school, and their food expenses are lowered. Third, learning materials. Sources of learning materials can be obtained easily because the notes and exercises have been given in form of PDF. Also, many exercises are online. This can reduce the use of books, in turn reducing the cost of buying books. Last but not least, on the other hand, there are a few noticeable weaknesses of teaching during MCO. First, devices and internet data. There are some of students who are unable to attend online classes due to the absence of strong internet devices and data. Some of them share gadgets with other siblings. There are cases where students are unable to attend online learning session because there are no gadgets, and they have to wait for their parents to return from work to use their gadget. Second, a lot of distraction. Students are unable to concentrate because they are easily distracted by social media, such as messages from WhatsApp, TikTok, and so on. One of the key factors is the noisy home environment. Third, unable to conduct practical, such as science practical. Some subjects in the school require to do practical, but during MCO, they are not able to do practical because they must stay at home. For example, in subject RBT, they have some projects such as the use of epoxy resin. Furthermore, Puan Samanja also had given her suggestion to improve learning in MCO. She suggested that the government should provide free and extensive internet services to help students to access this online learning, so that all students in Malaysia can get a knowledge even they are living in the place that difficult to get a good internet.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi guys, as you can see here, my name is Muhammad Azhar Mahir bin Muhammad Hussaini. My matrix number is 20214707728 and I'm from Group 1. Today, I will talk about learning and teaching during MCO. What is their challenging, strength and weakness? Now, let's know about my respondent. She is Shamsinar Hayati Binti Muhammad Shiz. Her age is 52 years old and she is the principal of SK Sri Petali. She started teaching on 1995 and it has been 27 years start she teaching. So, the subject that he taught is Science and Pendidikan Moral. The challenging for learning and teaching during MCO for my respondent is, the first one, she cannot have face-to-face class. As we know, during the MCO, no one can get out. Even if we can get out, we need to have social distancing between ourselves. So they have limitation at one place. So the next one is how to make the class is still on. So like, is it the student will contribute themselves to the class or not? So the lastly is she during she on during she's still learning how to be a teacher. She not aware with the teaching during MCO. So what the solution that she make for this challenging? The first one is she do the class online, but how to make sure that the student involved with the class is she make sure the student have tools for online class. If some of the student didn't have the tools such as laptop, computer, phones or internet connection, she asks a donation. She asks for the donation to the student to make sure they have the tools. And lastly, she are not been aware how to teach during MCO, so she learns how to make the class can be ongoing by herself, such as she asks her daughter and sons that how to use the laptops or computer, and also she learned a lot at YouTube to make sure that the class is perfectly done by herself. The strength for my respondent is she makes sure the student can access the internet. As I mentioned at the challenging, she makes sure that the student who didn't have the tools get the donation. And the second one is she makes sure the class is interesting for the student. She use PowerPoint that attractive and Kahoot so that the class is enjoyable. And she also mentioned that the students always ask her what she gonna do for the next class, because the class is so interesting that the student cannot wait for the next class. For the third one is she use different method if the student cannot access the internet. So she record during the class and give to the student that who cannot access the internet, and also she give an activities to them that so that they feel they're still involved in the class. The fourth one, for science subject, she used video to make it interesting. So as we know, science subject have experiment. So she record herself do the experiment and give to the students. And she also asked them to do the same thing, to record themselves, do the experiment and give to her, so that she can show to the class what all the students do for the experiments. For the moral class, she make a dialogue with student and act in the online class. So she gave a topic to the class and make the student do the dialogue and act in the online class. And lastly is parental involvement in the class. This one is very interesting. She mentioned that one day one of the students' parents asked her a question, what have been taught. So she got shocked and happy because the parent also learning from her. So she it's not just the student that learn with her, it's also their parents learning with her. So she's so happy with the parental involvement with the class. Lastly is the weakness. So what is my respondent weakness? First one is the internet connection. Sometimes the student is lag and always asks to repeat back what she has been taught, and sometimes the teacher itself are lag, so she need to repeat back what she has been taught. So my respondent, she knows that the student really want to involve with the class, so she always repeat what she has taught to the student. But this is difficult because she cannot emphasize the syllabus. The third one is she need to add up her expertise in teaching online. So as we know that she is 52 years old and she not aware a lot of things that are modern. So she think that she cannot give interesting class to the student in the future. So that's why she think that this is the weakness for her, and she's still learning herself so that she can improve the method of teaching for herself. So that's all from me. Bye.
This is a video presentation about my respondents' response to learning and teaching during MCO. Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad NAQIB bin Omar. My student ID is 2021617504. I'm from group ED 2461A. My respondent name is AKMAL binti Omar. She is 40 years old and currently teaching at SMK Jugra, Banting. She teaches science and computer, and she's a diploma holder of electrical engineering and education, and she has experience of teaching for 20 years. These are strengths my respondent has given. For teaching, we have anytime and anywhere, which means students can participate in classes from anywhere in the world, provided they have a computer and internet connection. In addition, the online format allows physically challenged students and teachers more freedom to participate in class, and students can access their courses at any time of day or night. Second is creative teaching. The teacher and student collaborative to create a dynamic learning experience, so the educator can bring their creativity on learning skills during online learning to attract students to not getting bored easily. Next is for learning, which focusing more on the students. We have access to resources. Nowadays, students have access to resources and materials that may be physically located anywhere in the world. An instructor can compile a resource section online with links to scholarly articles, institutions, and other materials relevant to the course topic. This shows that the student will be easier to find a material or content for their homework or assignments. Number 2 is student-centered. Student usually responds to those topics within the broader conversations that most clearly speak to their individual concerns. In this way, students can control their own learning experience and tailor their class discussions to meet their own specific needs. We can see that online learning can prioritize students' opinions while having discussions with the teacher. For the weakness, we have what should not be taught online. As we know, there are few subjects in schools that cannot be taught online, such as public speaking, science lab experiment, and sports, where physical movement and practice contribute to the achievement of the learning objectives. So, it will be hard for the students who take this course in schools. After that, we have limitations of technology. For example, the server which hosts the program could crash and cut all participants off from the class. The teacher should make sure that they have a strong connection before they begin their classes. For learning, we have use of computer. Students must be able to use a variety of search engines and be comfortable navigating on the World Wide Web. If they do not possess these technology tools, they will not succeed in an online program. After that, equity and accessibility. Some students cannot afford the internet, so it will be a constraint for them to contribute in online learning. That's all for the strengths and the weakness from my respondents. And the last one, for the challenging. She has told me that the most challenging part is when the students didn't take responsibility to finish their homework, because it's hard for her to give punishment to the students when they cannot even meet physically, so she just can warn the students during the classes. Thank you very much for watching.